It was sent to CNN. It was also sent to me this morning of this man making controversial statements. He is a 35-year veteran of the St. Louis County Police Department. His name is Dan Page, and this is him at an Oath Keepers event as a speaker there. Allegedly, this is back in April that he was speaking and giving these really inflammatory statements. The Oath Keepers, just so you know, the Oath Keepers is a nonpartisan, they say, association of current and former serving military police and first responders who pledge to fulfill the oath of all the military police and take to defend the Constitution, and then on and on. It goes and talks about them. He makes some really controversial statements, and in that he talks about all men being created equal, and then went on to say that does not mean affirmative action. He rants about hate crime laws. He talks about doing his fair share of killing, and that's what's concerning to the police department. And he also talks about the president and his connection to Kenya. Let's listen, and then we'll tell you what happened to this officer.
I said, I want to go find where that illegal aliens claim to be my undocumented president lives at. So I flew to Africa, and right there, and I went to our undocumented president's home. He was born in Kenya.
Okay. So that was a small part of it. Just to go on, I want to tell you, so he says the president was born in Kenya. He talks about being a St. Louis County cop. He talks about being briefed on situations having to do with 9/11 and that he had this extraordinary clearance. He also says that people involved in domestic violence should just shoot each other and get it over with. Somebody like me is going to kill you. He says, I am into diversity. I kill everybody. That's what's concerning to St. Louis County Police Chief John Belmer. When this videotape was brought to light, we sent it to him. He looked at it and he rushed over here to talk to us. He tells us now that this officer has been relieved of his duty. He is on suspension now. He will have to have a psychiatric exam. And he says beyond this, he's not sure if this officer can remain with the department. He wouldn't want to comment what would happen to this officer after this. And then he apologized to everyone.
Did anybody read the USA Today? This little homosexual sodomite here? That's called, incidentally, there are 4 sodomites on the Supreme Court. Has anybody read this? Farmer Justice Stevens wants to change the Constitution, and he listed 6 things in here that have to go. Number 1, the Second Amendment. Why would he pick that one up? Because he's an idiot. No, he's not an idiot. Man knows what he's doing. You can read this yourself right there. You can read it yourself. It's in today's. This is today. I have a litany of this stuff to put to you as fast as I can. We are in great, great peril. It says, change the Second Amendment. Yeah? Change the 8th Amendment. You know what the 8th Amendment's for? Yeah? Hope y'all do. If you don't, you're going to find out. removing the First Amendment clause about religious freedom. Who do you think they're targeting on that? Christians, okay? Even if you're not a Christian, this ought to concern you. It ought to really get you upset. The states must become submissive to the federal government in all aspects. Really? Now this here is Command Master Chief Robert Otis. He is my grade. He is a Navy E9. Him and I was the highest ranking people on the whole African continent. I was a Command Sergeant Major for AFRICOM. He was a Command Master Chief of all naval forces. He worked for Admiral Losey and I worked for Admiral Losey. He had control of all the SEALs. I had control of all the Rangers and Green Berets and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Very good man, hard man. And he told me on this trip that you're seeing right here, he says, I'm going to retire and I get back, I'm not going to be part of this. In my last few months in Africa, okay, Secretary Hillary Clinton was there, okay. This is what the world's going to start to look like by 2015. How far is that away? It's not very far, is it? That means you better get prepared, folks. That's the only slide in the world like that. You won't find it nowhere in the world. I snapped that with a little camera. I was in that office that you see. That's the Secretary of the Army. He said in 2015 events are going to start happening. That's going to transform us into this. Now you've seen the Constitution. I'm not blowing smoke up your backside, folks, because you ain't got nothing I want. This represents the world's been broken down into 10 regions. I'm glad you brought it. The world has been broken down into 10 regions. This is one of the models, just one. And I will tell you about what I know about 9/11. I told you I would. Colonel Capel, a full-birth colonel, commander of SOC Europe, that's Special Forces Command Europe, flew into Bosnia, and he assembled all of the SF guys under one up in the greenhouse. That will be in that building over there. He assembled us all in there. And this was in 1999. This was August the 1st, if I remember correctly. He says, gentlemen, no men, sorry, there's about to be an attack upon the United States. And he put on a presentation like I'm putting on you, and he put up on the screen all the people that were going to be involved in it. They were already there. 19 of them were from Saudi Arabia. Only one of them was from somewhere else. But we attacked Afghanistan. That sounds logical to me. Yeah. Saudi Arabia sent them in, go blow up Afghanistan. And he says, after that happens, the United States will be forever changed. And this man was highly respected. With that in mind, he went down to Charlie Ramp. That'd be the place to go home on. He flew home and retired. He said, I'm not going to be part of what America's going to turn into. Where are they at? 14 years later, there's no weapons of mass destruction. Syria don't have them, nobody has them. We got satellites in the sky. Nobody tracked them. They don't exist. So why did we go? That's the big question. In Saddam Hussein's trial in The Hague, it was proven he had nothing to do with the World Trade Towers. Germany told Bush, they warned him of it. And it did not come from Saddam Hussein, but yet we attacked Afghanistan for 3 months and we immediately went into Iraq. Why? There was no weapons of mass destruction. Didn't happen. He was cleared by our own State Department of having anything to do with 9/11. So why did we go? World government, folks. Yep. World government, folks. Yep. World government, folks. Yep. So number one is there's going to be an emphasis upon international events. The news media is going to pound it, pound it, pound it. The second thing is you're going to start to see a group or a person guilty of racism or something along those lines. We're going to start pounding on that. They want your attention over here.
You're going to start to see a group or a person guilty of racism or something along those lines. We're going to start pounding on that. They want your attention over here.
defiant crowd gathered past a state-imposed curfew in Ferguson, Missouri. Hundreds of other protesters had left peacefully before the midnight to 5 a.m. curfew took effect in the city, where an unarmed black teenager had been shot and killed by a white police officer on August 9th.
This is the police. You are violating the state-imposed curfew. Don't shoot!
In order declaring a state of emergency and ordering the implementation of a curfew in the curfew in the impacted area of Ferguson.
The third thing you're going to start to see is people being arrested for domestic terrorism. The fourth thing you're going to see, and this is what I'm going to talk to the ladies about, it's what I call ancient hates, ancient madness, ancient revenge. When these things start to happen, people are going to start rioting. The EBT cards are going to shut down. Can you imagine what's going to happen in North St. Louis and St. Louis County when the EBT cards go down, when the ATM machines don't work? Walmarts in Illinois always and other places had some problems with that already. Think about that, what's going to happen. When the inner cities start to ignite, people are going to start killing people they don't like.
When the inner cities start to ignite, people are going to start killing people they don't like.
So that's the fourth thing that's going to happen. Okay? Contractors are going to come in. They'd be me. People like me, but on the other side. They're going to kill you. You're going to start seeing people, that person sitting next to you a few years from now will not be sitting there because they're going to be gone. Because somebody like me is going to come in and kill you. For all you wannabes out here who think you're the baddest thing in the world, I got news for you. You're going to meet bad. Not that bad can't be killed. But when you're talking with somebody who does this 24/7 every day of their life, they get pretty good at it. Right? Not somebody who just does it every now and then. The last thing comes in is when the main force comes in, and it's all over with. And all this will happen in less than 60 days or 60 hours. The last 60 hours, because that's what we did in Iraq. We brought everybody in, we assembled it, and then we hit it. Can you imagine what those people thought when they started seeing this massive army assemble around it? Can you imagine the fear in those people's eyes? You need to be out there doing something. And I don't care whether you're a Christian or not. I personally believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, but I'm also a killer. I've killed a lot. And if I need to, I'll kill a whole bunch more. If you don't want to get killed, don't show up in front of me. It's that simple. I have no qualms with it. God did not raise me to be a coward. No questions, not now. There comes a time when you got to man up. They're going to take your kids from you and put them in indoctrination camps. They're going to do it. It's going to happen. And there's nothing you're going to do to stop it because we've waited too long. I personally, and many people that I work with, very, very, very close people that I know, expect an imminent collapse of the United States. Imminent. I don't know when it will come, but it's going to come. It will come. It may be one major event, it may be a series of events, but it's going to happen.